It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Finance Daily, episode 406, What We Appreciate Appreciates, by Cait Flanders with BecomingMinimalist.com. And I am Dan, your host. Welcome back to a brand new week here on the podcast. Today's post is a guest post on Joshua Becker's site from a blogger that you've heard before if you're a longtime listener. That's Cait Flanders. And she's regularly featured on our brother podcast, Optimal Living Daily. And actually, a guest post from her site was narrated exactly a week ago, so you might want to check out that episode. That's episode 640 of Optimal Living Daily. But for now, let's hear her post from Joshua's site as we optimize your life. What We Appreciate Appreciates, by Cait Flanders with BecomingMinimalist.com. Quote, "In the context of sufficiency, appreciation becomes a powerful, intentional practice of creating new value through our deliberate attention to the value of what we already have." Lynn Twist. I've spent the last 4 years writing about money and the role it has played in my life. I've written about how I got into debt, the day I realized I was maxed out, and how I dug myself out of the mess. It took 2 years of living on a tight budget, but I made my final debt repayment in May 2013, and I haven't owed anyone a penny since. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean I had my spending under control. For the first year that followed, I spent money buying and doing all the things I couldn't buy or do while paying down debt. I'd put myself on such a tight budget for those 2 years that I was convinced I'd been living without something during that time, so I spent a year searching for it. I wasn't living an extravagant lifestyle per se. I was simply consuming more than I needed. There were stacks of books on my shelves that I'd never read, outfits in my closet I'd only worn once, bottles of unused nail polish, and what looked to be a 5-year supply of pens and paper. Shortly after my first anniversary of being debt-free, I looked at the small balance in my savings account and wondered what I'd been doing wrong. I was budgeting and blogging about money, so why didn't I have more to show for it? When I looked around my apartment, I realized it was a result of lifestyle inflation, and I wasn't happy with the state of mine. The stacks of books on my shelves were a constant reminder I had no time to read. The long-forgotten clothes in my closet made me feel guilty for not getting a good enough cost per wear out of them. I even hated most of the nail polish colors, but felt like they were what grown-up Kate should wear. I'd wasted hundreds, even thousands of dollars on stuff, and I didn't even like most of it. In a wave of inspiration, I started opening every closet, cupboard, and drawer in my apartment, on a mission to get rid of anything I didn't use or truly cherish. I filled bag after bag and box after box until almost every inch of my dining room floor was covered. After dragging it all downstairs, I filled my car with stuff and still had to make 2 additional trips to the donation center. In the end, I removed 60% of the belongings from my home, and then I put myself on a year-long shopping ban so I wouldn't bring in anything new. I'm only 8 months into the shopping ban, but I can already tell you I will never go back to the type of consumer I was before, and that's before considering all the extra money I've been able to save, which is just an added bonus. I will never go back to being the type of consumer I was before, because living with fewer possessions has finally allowed me to see how full and rich my life already was, and still is today. I wake up each morning and fill my French press with delicious coffee in the quiet moments before a new day begins. I have a job that lets me work from home at a desk with the most incredible view of the mountains. I get paid to write, which I still pinch myself over. I live minutes from the ocean with the smell of salt in the air, and I have the most loving and supportive family and friends a person could ask for, and most everyone is in good health. How could I have ever thought I was living without anything? I am still new to this minimalist scene and my shopping ban, so I am continually discovering new and wonderful things about how it's changing my life. However, as someone who's been writing about money for 4 years, there's one thing I can tell you with certainty. When you focus on what's lacking in your life, you'll do or buy anything to fill that void. This might include buying yourself something after you've had a bad day, upgrading to the newest piece of technology just because it's popular, buying a new car or home because you think it proves you've reached a certain level of success, filling your home with beautiful things to impress your guests, even though you can't afford any of it. But when you choose to appreciate what is good in your life, you will use money in ways that help sustain it. You begin feeling better about paying your rent or mortgage, knowing it's putting a roof over your head, being more grateful for the heat, hot water, or electricity you used when the bill comes, doing whatever it takes to make sure you can afford your hobbies and passions, saving for your hopes and dreams, both big and small. Everything in the first list are assets that will immediately depreciate, and not just in dollar value, but also in the value you've placed on them. The newest piece of technology gets old the minute something newer comes out. As soon as that happens, you're back to feeling like you're living without something, versus appreciating it for what it is, a tool that helps you communicate with family and friends. Everything on the second list, however, will appreciate in value. Maybe not in dollar value, but in your continued appreciation for it. When you appreciate that you live in a comfortable home with hot showers, you start to soak up every minute under the water. And when you find the true joy that comes from pursuing hobbies and passions, you'll wish you'd never wasted $1 on the stuff you thought could bring you that same feeling. When you spend money on things you appreciate, it will always pay dividends in the form of gratitude. As a former debt blogger, I wish I'd learned that lesson sooner. However, as part of my journey to become minimalist, I've come to realize how valuable my experiences really were. I wouldn't appreciate my life today in the same light if I hadn't made the mistakes and learned from them. If writing about it helps inspire even one person to shift their focus and find new ways to appreciate what they already have, then the experiences will continue to pay dividends. And for that, I am grateful. You just listened to the post titled "What We Appreciate Appreciates" by Cait Flanders with BecomingMinimalist.com. And again, you can hear a guest post from Cait's site, that's CaitFlanders.com, being narrated by Justin over at Optimal Living Daily in episode 640. It is a good episode. Definitely want to check that out, along with the other podcasts in our network as well. Just search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you're hearing this show and subscribe. And that's a wrap for another Minimalist Monday show here on Optimal Finance Daily. I'll be back tomorrow with a post from Steve Pavlina. So I'll see you there, everybody. That's where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.